morning and welcome to Planet in the Word, week 29. And this week you're going to read 2 Chronicles 29 to 31. And this is the beginning of the reign of King Hezekiah. And I'd like to draw your attention. First of all, I want to tie him into last week, which is he comes to power. This is during the divided kingdom. He comes to his authority in Judah, and roughly somewhere circa 727 BC. What's significant about that and how it ties last week is we had the story of Jonah, which happened right before the Assyrian army came into Israel and culled out the northern kingdom. Hezekiah was the king on the throne in Judah when that happened. So there is a little bit of a tie between last week and this week in that Hezekiah faced the Assyrian army, but Judah was not destroyed. Babylon came in later and did that. But there's some reasons why the Assyrian army was in that we're going to take a quick look at. One of the things I want to draw your attention to is Ahaz, which is Hezekiah's father. And what is said about him and what you read last week is that really he was a horrible king. He came to the throne and it says he did not do anything that was pleasing in God's eyes, that he locked up the temple. He destroyed the priesthood. He worshiped pagan gods. He worshiped the Baals. Baals. He offered sacrifices of his son, most likely to Molech. And all of these things were pagan rituals that were abhorrent to God. He was so horrible that God allowed even Judah to be judged in a way that 120,000 people died in battle, which was a significant portion of Judah, what was essentially remaining. He was just this horrible king that God judged harshly. But he has this child, and when Hezekiah is introduced, it says, and Hezekiah did what was pleasing in the eyes of the Lord. What I want to draw your attention to is one of the things that you're going to be reading as you go through these lists of kings, and that is sometimes it mentions the mother of the king. In Hezekiah's case, it tells us that his mother's name was Abiah, and Abiah actually means my father is Yah, which is an abbreviated form of Yahweh, meaning somebody that named this woman did it with the intention that she was a daughter of Yahweh, which gives us real insight into the difference between Ahaz and his worship of pagan deities, and evidently this wife he has who comes from a lineage that worships Yahweh, and how she raises this child. Now, when Hezekiah comes to power, he does the exact opposite of his father. He opens the temple. He purges the Levitical line and he cleanses the priesthood. He cleanses the temple out. He reinstates Passover and the Jewish holy days that they are supposed to honor. He does all the things that Yahweh had called the king to do in exact difference of what his father has done. So the question is, as we go through these kings, what seems to be the difference between those who followed Yahweh and those who don't follow Yahweh? And over again, we tend to see that there is a pattern of the mothers. When the mothers lead in the way of Yahweh, when they train up these sons, as they even come into their kingship, they tend to follow those and honor that God. And when they have mothers who do not do those things, that they tend to follow that also. So pay attention as you're reading these kings, because it mentions the mothers for a reason. I really think this is almost one of the bases and the evidences what we have for that old slogan, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. We really see evidences of that as we follow the obedience of these kings to Yahweh or the disobedience of these kings to Yahweh. I hope that helps. I hope that illuminates and inspires you to pay attention to that as you read. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good week. Bye-bye.